Doing a little folding over there.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Hey, what's happening, guys? It is Sunday Live Haul. This is your double-handed wave. Almost like jazz hands.
Almost. It was like silent. It was like applause.
Yeah.
And
I kind of think you should start opening the shows with just some jazz hands.
Like just Jack. It could be like just Vikki.
No,
or
I think you have to shake
reference.
the hand. You have to do a rotation.
Oh.
You have to do jazz hands aren't just this. That's like don't shoot me hands.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you make Victoria Smith a wrench?
Oh, sure.
Victoria, we are going to make you an admin doll because I don't think we have any admins in the group at the moment.
I mean, not that you asked for it, but
yeah,
you don't really get a choice.
You can smack down the trolls.
I mean, we really don't have any, so
we get them occasionally, but yeah,
occasionally. Anyway, so it's Sunday Live Haul.
Hello.
Let me get our little screen back up here. There we go.
Yeah, Victoria, hope I don't have to pee. You're not allowed.
No, yeah, you can't go anywhere. Sorry.
With great power comes great responsibility, Victoria.
That's very fine. All right. Anyway, it's Sunday. We were not here last week because we were at this moment, we were hanging out in Disneyland.
We were in Disney this time last week.
But we already talked about that.
What a sad change from where we are now.
Yeah, here in my dark cave of an office. Get over it. Get over it. But that means we're home and we're working, which for me, I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm going to get some more listing done after this show's over. Anyway.
We missed you guys too. We did, really. It's silly because, we do these 2 YouTube shows a week, and sometimes we do a third. And then we actually really need to do a Friday. We have to book our Friday After Dark show. We're so lazy, guys. We're like the laziest YouTubers ever.
First of all, HTK Flipper says, so happy you're back. Best show of the week. And it's not a matter of being lazy. It's called we work. Like, we're busy. We're busy all the time. If we were lazy, we'd just be like lounging around.
No. I said we are lazy YouTubers.
Yeah.
We are. We don't do the editing and recording. We don't, we don't
priorities.
We don't have like 7 YouTube
Here's
videos
the reality, guys, because Victoria, she would like us to do more stuff. But the problem is there's no we when it comes to all the tech stuff. So if we are gonna do more, then that means that I have to do more. And honestly, like, I need to focus on.
Clearly, I have to get my sticky notes early. We just started.
Oh, Barb's here too.
This started last night. I'm telling you, our friends were at the house. I cannot say 2 sentences without her cutting me off and saying how wrong I am all the time. This is my note. This is our little show notes. Stop cutting me off.
I mean, you are wrong though. Anyway, Barbara's here, so now we have a couple of wrenches there. Ooh.
I feel like Miss Piggy right now.
I was gonna say you went into Miss Piggy voice. Anyway, I don't think it's lazy. It's about priorities, and my number one aim is not to be a YouTuber. It's to sell awesome stuff on the interwebs.
It's true. I'm not. Yeah, same thing. But yeah, as I was saying, we are kind of lazy YouTubers because we don't put out enough content probably. But when we do, hey, you guys get us for like an hour and a half for every show. So
yeah, exactly.
You should feel lucky, I suppose, or curse your existence. I'm not sure which one, but we're here to make it happen either way. So yeah, I'm kind of excited because we've got some good stuff to share with you. We've got some good numbers.
And you've got some good hard goods in your solds and a few to share. We have some decent numbers. I did want to say real quick. So I've noticed the last couple of days, I mean, any Facebook group you're in, this happens frequently, I would say. But I've noticed in the last day, 2 days, 3 days, there've been a lot of posts in the boss group about asking people if their sales are slow. And let me tell you, for one thing, yes, I mean, some people might be experiencing slow sales right now. Mine are actually picking up. I know yours have been doing pretty well. I think the last couple of days you said yours have been slow.
My numbers have been good because my average sale price has been very high, but my sales in general, the number or the volume of sales has been very low. So I'm yes, I think a lot of the changes that eBay has made over the last 6 weeks to 8 weeks has absolutely created some challenges. Unfortunately, they're doing it right heading into Q4, and that really irritates me. Last year, they were doing it in late spring, early summer, and it was horrific for a lot of people. So
my sales are up mine were down pretty bad in the summertime just on eBay. But eBay right now for me is up like 40% over last month. But what I wanted to say is that, yes, there are legitimate things that can be happening that could potentially be affecting your sales, whether it's stuff on eBay. My Etsy is way down this week, so there's other platforms that are seeing this as well. It could be just the general feelings around economics and what's going on in the country right now. That can always affect people's spending habits. There's a lot of things. But what I wanted to say is the problem I see with those kinds of posts is that people naturally, by human nature, are looking for camaraderie when it comes to, is there anyone else who's experiencing what I'm experiencing? And that's great. But I just want to give you guys a warning. Don't allow that to make you complacent and not willing to look at what you could be doing differently potentially. Because I'm betting that there are plenty of you who might be telling yourself like, oh, everyone else is having bad sales too, so it must not be me. And if
sometimes
we were
it's you
to look at your store, there might be 10 things that you could be doing that are drastically having really a bad impact on your sales. So I just want to say, be careful, because there probably are things that you could be doing. And to some of you, if you're really having a hard time and you're not sure what to do, maybe go back to some of our Wednesday shows when we've done store reviews. I find that we repeat a lot of the same things because a lot of times there are a lot of common things that sellers do that they could be doing better. So that's just, I just wanted to say that because.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just a matter of, I just need to be listing more. My listing has been down the past several weeks, and I think it's just starting to catch up to me. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. It's not going to change anything. Finally, we're done with a lot of our traveling we were doing this summer and this past month. So we don't have any trips coming up for the next several months. So it's time to like buckle down and work right now.
For sure. I got some stuff I need to get listed. So anyway, so our regular Sunday show, we break it up into 3 parts. First, we go over our real numbers. Or as real as we can get, some of the stuff we have to do some estimates like our cost of goods. But we look at our real numbers, what came in, what we spent as far as shipping, fees, costs of goods, and things like that to give you a better picture of how we're doing in our different stores, to give you some transparency. Then we get to do the sales highlights, which are kind of fun. We get to show some of the cool stuff that we sold over the last week.
And of course, that's just our highlights. So, we have, if you look at our stores, which are very visible, we don't hide anything. We don't delete our sold listings. You are able to view anything that we sell in our store. We're pretty transparent about that.
Yep. And then we go into our haul. And so like this time we have, I believe we both have stuff that we found when we were in California. We went to several thrift stores there, and then also stuff that we picked up this week. And you, which you're going to talk about more later, but you have a bunch of stuff that you got from a friend who was doing some cleaning out of their stuff, and you were the beneficiary, so to speak. And so
I can talk about it now briefly, but then I'll talk about it when I talk about the hauls. One of the things that we say, we've said it before in the show, and we've said it before in the Facebook group, is tell people what you do for a living. I know there's this whole kind of secrecy around what do you do for a living? I sell online, or I just sell online, or I sell on eBay. Some people have some sort of shame surrounding that, I feel. And I think it's based on a lot of people have a misconception about what we do, and they don't necessarily think it's a real job. But anything that you spend time doing that generates income is a real job. So
who cares what other people think, guys?
That too. Who cares? But make sure people know what you're doing. Make sure you announce it. Make sure your friends know. Make sure your family knows what you do for a living. I've offered many times for friends to take their donations that they're going to take and drop off at a Goodwill or some semblance of that. And I'll pick through them. I'll cherry pick through their donations, and then I'll donate things that I'm not looking to sell. But you'll be surprised what people give you. We had a friend come and meet up with us in California that lives just outside of Anaheim, and she drove to meet us and have dinner and spend some time with us. But she filled the back of our SUV with a bunch of crap she just wanted to get rid of. And I say crap, but I'm just saying it's a bunch of stuff. A lot of it is stuff that I'm going to sell that she's not looking for any money. She was just going to donate it. She's like, here, if you can make money off of this, great. If not, donate it. And then there's a bunch of stuff we went through that really didn't have much value individually for me to sell. So I just went and donated it. She knows that I'm going to donate it somewhere where people can use it. And if I can use it and make some money off it, she would prefer her friend make some money off it than just, toss it.
And so just to go into what you wanted to touch on, Reselling Diva asks, what do you tell people that ask you to sell items for them?
Okay, so that's something that's a very touchy subject. First of all, I used to do a lot of consignment. When I used to do consignment, it was when fees were a lot lower, shipping was a lot lower, and the way that you did business online was very different. You didn't have to sit on inventory for quite as long. So I will say I used to do consignment. And I used to do it on a sliding scale. If people want you to sell items for them, you need to, first of all, do you want to do that? You don't have to.
I don't.
It's very easy to say no. And no is an answer. You don't need to give an explanation. No is an answer. But I still do consignment for certain people. I will do consignment for good friends or for family members. Again, something you may not want to do because people sometimes have unrealistic expectations of how quickly something's going to sell or how much their stuff is worth. So I am very specific about who I choose to do consignment for. And it's usually word of mouth. I don't advertise as a consignment seller any longer, but I used to. And I take 50%, period. I don't care if it's my mom. My mom doesn't ask me to sell anything for her, but your time is worth money. So I take 50% of the profit. That's after shipping and after eBay and PayPal fees, I will take 50%. And I send out a check 45 days after the item sells. That's the way it works. You need to have a contract and you need to be selective on what you sell. I'm not selling something for someone else that's only going to sell for $40. I will do it on items that are $100 individual or higher because that will be worth my time. Otherwise, it's not worth my time. You need to store the item. You need to have the item in your possession. You need to handle shipping. You need to handle returns. You need to ask questions. And I will have a contract for every single one of the consignment items that I have. And that contract will say, I'm going to keep it for X number of days. You need to talk about whether you're going to reduce your price, at what time you do that. And you need to talk about what you're going to do with the item if it just doesn't sell. And whether they want it returned back to them or they want it donated.
And I'm of the mind where I just don't want to deal with any of it. So I don't do it at all. So it just depends. But definitely I see people saying that they're doing consignment and stuff that really is the pricing on it's too low to even really make it worth your time. I mean, I know it's up to you. It's up to everybody to do their own thing. But you shouldn't feel obligated. You should be able to say no and all that jazz.
Yeah, you're able to say no and set a certain dollar amount of what you think is your limit of what your time is worth and what it isn't. Because I have no shortage of items that I can source on my own to sell for a good profit and a good ROI. So why would I be wasting my time? Even if it comes to you for free, that's a lot of argument that people use. Why would I waste my time on something I'm going to net $10 on? Yeah,
you got to remember. So, I mean, Todd does say, it's like free money if the price is right. And that's true if the price is right. So you that's the other thing is it's like sellers really need to think about what their time is worth. And I know it's really easy when you're first starting out to not really think about time as with a money amount in mind.
Yeah.
But you really got to think about that because time you're spending on that is time you could be spending on something else that might be bringing in more money. So anyway, all right.
And yes, I do have a contract that I made up. Just Google sample consignment contract. You'll be able to find information on it. Yeah, I have one that I created, about 15 years ago, and I've tweaked it a few times over the years. But yeah, you definitely need a contract. One for you, one for them.
Yep, for sure.
Both copies signed.
All right. So do you want to get into the show?
Yeah.
Talk about our numbers. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
You want to go? Whoa.
They're very similar, so it's kind of sad.
We were trying to be twinsies this week. All right, let me go ahead and share the screen here. And here you go.
Okay, so it was a decent week, but with not a huge amount of items going out the door. So I had 36 eBay orders, 4 Etsy and 1 Mercari for a total of 41 orders. $2,018 on eBay, $481 between Etsy and Mercari for a total of $2,500.
Not too shabby.
Not bad. Because that gives me a high ASP. So my shipping costs were $297. I did have several international items, but I did also have 2 very big heavy items. So my shipping is there as well. My promoted listing fees, that's for both Etsy and eBay. And 25 of that is from Etsy. The balance was from eBay. I did not sell only items that are promoted, and I do have all of my listings promoted on eBay. So let's just clarify how that's happening. Still selling the same percentage, around 40% through promoted listings, even though everything is promoted. eBay final value fee is $295. That's eBay and PayPal. Etsy fees $43 and change. Total costs $695. My cost of goods was relatively low this week at $163. So my total net sales are right where I like it to be, around $1,600, $1,642. That's what I like to have in my pocket at the end of the week, around $1,500 or so. So my gross ASP was just over $60 and my net was $40.
Nice. So not a bad week. All right. So mine looks very similar. I had 34 items go out through eBay, 6 through Etsy. Etsy really slowed down for me this week. I don't know what's up with that. I've been, doing pretty well, and it was just pretty much crickets most of the week on Etsy.
I think it's just your lack of listing. I think that's brilliant.
I've been listing almost every day though.
I know, but last week when we were away.
That's true. You are correct. So you know what? That's true, because I do think, I know that you hadn't been getting any Etsy sales, and you really go long periods of time without putting anything on Etsy. So that could have some impact. It's like we're not as well versed with Etsy as we are with eBay as far as how activity affects your sales, but that very well could be true. So total of 40 outgoing items. eBay, my gross sales were $2,262. My Etsy sales, $290.75. So my total gross sales, $2,552.76.
Can you flash back to what mine was right there?
$2,500. So I did about $50 more than you. Woo-woo! But you
beat me.
Net is better than mine. So we'll flash back on that again. All right. So my shipping, $255.52. Promotion fees, $149.20. I will say my eBay promoted listing fees jumped up because I had a much better week of sales, and about 50% of my sales were promoted listings this week, which is not always the norm for me, but I was happy to get those sales. So there you go. There are fees there, and total cost $702.33. My cost of goods $255. So my total net sales after cost $1,595.43. We will jump back over to Vikki. $1,642.
So I beat you in my net,
and
you beat me in the gross by the same amount. That's
pretty much.
So weird.
Pretty much, because your cost of goods. Let's see what yours are. $163. Mine's $255. Yeah, my cost of goods tend to be higher. Although your shipping is usually a little bit higher.
Your cost of goods and your shipping was exactly the same too. Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Okay, so my gross average sale price, $63.82, which I'm very happy with. I like to keep it above 50, so over 60 is awesome. My net average sale price, $39.89. So yeah,
pretty good week.
Pretty good week.
Like I said, it was kind of weak with only 34 items, or 40. If you had 40, I had 41. So the number of items was a little low for me, but our sales were good.
And for me, my number of items was actually up from what I usually do. I've been doing a lot less. So, Anyway,
so we've got a bunch of people in the chat. I just wanted to acknowledge, Mel the Sports Gal sold a $75 Tommy tee and said that's a Katy sale. That's totally a Katy sale.
Yeah. Nice.
Totally a Katy sale.
That's very good. Let's see. I saw somewhere up here. Oh yeah, Allison says she's got some reseller boxes available. So if anyone's interested, you can always go find her on the old Instagram, Big Drift Thrift. Yeah. So let's see. Somebody was asking.
Some of our highlights.
Karen was asking, what is the percentage the taxes charge? I'm not really sure what you're asking there.
We don't get into taxes on our
show.
I don't know if you're meaning personal taxes or if you're meaning the state taxes.
Yeah, sales
because that's going to be different for every person.
Yeah, so you can clarify that, and we'll come back to it. All right, so let's talk about. Let's look at our sales highlights for the week.
Okay.
Go back.
Do a screen share now?
I'll go back and share the screen, and you can start off.
Okay, so this is a bolo. I want people to take a look at these here. This was horribly incomplete. It was missing all of the cards. If this had the players' cards with it, I would have sold this for over $300. This is a very, very rare role-playing game, board game type thing, and it's an expansion pack. So it sold about 35 seconds after I listed it. I think I still listed it too low. I was assuming that it was not going to have as much value because it didn't have the player cards, and I was listing it kind of high anyway, and it sold immediately, which leads me to believe I probably still priced it too low. But it's okay. I paid $1. So look for Hero Quest. There are specific games and the expansion packs that are worth more than others. I just wanted to say that this was a good bolo. Nerds. I did not know it was when I got it. I always buy nerd games like this. I figured for $1. Nerds. You know, it's not like I looked it up. I knew I'd sell it for, in my mind, probably $20 to $30. But yeah.
So I wanted to pull out the screen share real quick because I just saw, so I don't know if it's Mel or Deb right now in the chat. But so Allison, Big Drift Thrift, we were hanging out with Deb and Mel last weekend at Disneyland, and we were talking about different things. And I don't remember how your name came up, but we were talking about it, and we learned that Deb and Mel are big fans of Big Drift Thrift, of Allison, and that whenever they see her or hear her name, they go, BDT, something like that, right?
Yep.
BDT. So Allison, that is what's happening in the chat right there. She sells resale BDT. Just so you know, you get them riled up down there in California. So
for sure.
Okay.
Lynn asked real quickly. Lynn Rain Country Soap asked, "You guys do free shipping on Etsy?" Yes, Katy does free shipping on everything on eBay and Etsy because domestic. Yes, because she sells only clothing and shoes. And I do free shipping on clothing and shoes and charge shipping on larger, heavier items.
Yeah, indeed. All right. So I'll go back to the screen share.
It's Sunday. They're both watching.
Oh, hi, guys. All right. My first one I want to share with you guys.
You sold it.
My Jesus Christ baseball t-shirt sold. I actually took an offer. So I got $40 for it. Sold this bad boy for $40. I just want to point out real quick, my favorite part on it is the Out of Here trading cards, the Rapture collection. That is my favorite part of this t-shirt.
We got this in Arizona.
Just so you know.
Teresa loved this shirt too.
Anyway.
And instead, you don't notice the the Major League Baseball thing right there. He's carrying the cross on his shoulder instead of the baseball bat.
Yep.
Wow.
There's a lot of great.
It's priceless.
There's a lot of great details on the shirt, if you ask me. Anyway. So I took an offer for $40. I'm telling you guys, I'm not showing it today in my highlights, but I also sold another Jesus t-shirt on Etsy for like $30. I'm telling you, vintage
Jesus stuff sells.
Vintage Jesus stuff definitely sells.
Only vintage Jesus. Not current Jesus, but vintage Jesus is like.
Well, vintage is cool, man. It's cool. And like I've said before, just because you're Christian doesn't mean you don't want to be cool. So they want their own vintage t-shirts.
I think this shirt is hysterical.
This
awesome. One kind of
I like the back.
Takes the cake.
Your designated hitter, Jesus Christ. He went to bat for you.
It's got it's so over the top. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. All right. So next one for you.
That is not what it sold for, by the way. I did take an offer on this. I sold it for $120. I have had it for quite a while. It was kind of it's a high-end brand, but it's not a high-end brand that's popular in the US. So it did sit for quite a while. I paid about $10 for it. So I sold it for $120, but it did sell to Canada. So the buyer did pay shipping, and I actually made quite a bit on the shipping too, because it was that pirate ship to Canada. I used calculated shipping, and it was that 2 to 3 pound range, which is where you end up making like an extra $10 or $12.
The 3 to 4 pound is the best. The heavier it is, the bigger the discount. It's awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't. Anyway, it was a pretty good saving. So I took $120, knowing they were paying for shipping, and I was going to make a little more. So it's definitely been winter jacket time lately. I've started selling sweaters and jackets again. So some parts of the country, for sure.
Awesome. All right, this one I'm pretty excited about. This one, where did I buy this?
I don't.
Do you remember? I bought this at a little thrift store. It was in our sourcing video in Oregon. So we were with Binky, my sister.
Oh, is that the one where she did the?
It wasn't that. It wasn't that store.
Tried the jumpsuit on.
Yep, it wasn't that store. So anyway, they didn't have a price for it. It was only like $10 or something like that. And so I picked it up and I just sold it for $70. But I love this kind of stuff. I love like the gymnastics, anything like kind of like this kind of
cheesy sportsing looking.
I don't know. Yeah, something. I mean, not necessarily cheesy, but any of the sports type stuff that's not like directly like professional sports teams, like stuff around skiing and surfing and gymnastics and, stuff like this. I just think it's cool. So
Jen asked, where has Binky been? I don't know. Well, Binky is home. She lives in Oregon.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get her out here next month for a visit. So
I need to talk to her. I'm going to see if I can convince her to come visit in November. So in which case she'll be all over the place, guys, because
it'll be all Binky.
It'll be all Binky all the time, which is the way we like it. Anyway, so sold it for $70, guys. Woo-hoo.
Nice.
All right, next one.
So this actually sold pretty quickly. It sold, I had it listed for a little over a week. I picked this up in Arizona when we were visiting Teresa a couple weeks ago. I paid $5 for this and it sold for $119.96. Just as soon as it rolled into a sale, it sold. It was, as I was saying, is you want to look when you're at garage sales, look on the ground, look in boxes and things like that. So this was in a box by itself. The box wasn't even really open. I just opened it up and it was in here. And I was like, how much for this box of books? They were like $5. I'm like, sold. So it sold for $120. And the other thing is people are like, oh, there's not enough room here. There's too many resellers, blah, blah, blah. We were outsourcing at garage sales. There were 5 of us all at the same garage sales, just chit chatting and having fun. And 4 other people walked by this. We were all at the same garage sale. So it's not like there's not enough out there for everybody. We're all looking for different stuff. There's
tons of stuff out there. There's tons. That's like, so Barry, Afro Vintage, he just had a post, I'm just going to go ahead and do this really, really quick. He just had a post the other day saying like, hey, this marks on Instagram and this marks my 1 year in the reseller game. Like he's only been doing this for 1 year. And he was talking about how I think he started out watching the round 2 videos and then he found us. And he even, was saying how, he learned from me a lot about like vintage t-shirts. And let me tell you guys, he's doing really well. Like this is what he does pretty much full time now. He's only been in it for a year and he lives here in Las Vegas. So basically because of our videos, we not just because of our videos, but we were one of the sources that he used to learn. I basically created, you could say, a direct competitor.
You created your own competition.
Or at least contributed to a direct competitor who's here in the same city as me, buying the same type of stuff that I buy. And it doesn't even matter. So, and
he's one of many, and it doesn't even affect you.
Exactly.
There is enough room out here for everybody. Like we say all the time, we are not competitors. We are coworkers.
All right. Yep. Absolutely. All right. So next one for me. Now, this is interesting because, I've been doing all of these, ending all these old listings. I had stuff that was well over a year old. And I finally, over the last month, I'm now down to where I have nothing older than 3 months. And so I'm finding all this stuff selling that I've had forever. And the way I have all my jackets are hanging on racks. And I know when something really old has sold when I go to get it. And it's like way at the end because it's like everything that's been bought since then has been put there. Sorry, not trying to put my arm in your face. Anyway, but this jacket I had for so long. And it finally sold. And what's crazy, so somebody buys it, they pay $97.99. I go look, and then I see that somebody had made an offer for $80, and I realized it was the same buyer. So I don't know if they made an offer for $80, and then they were worried they were going to miss out, so they went ahead and bought it full price. But then
I love that.
But then he sent me a message, and he was like, "Hey." His message didn't completely make sense. He said something along the lines of "Hey, I didn't make an offer. Can I have $10 back?" And honestly, I thought about it for a second. And I'm like, you know what? Why not? I would have accepted the $80 offer he gave me. So I sent him a partial refund for $10 and he was like, thanks. And I shipped it out to him. So I sold it for $87.99. So it's a little weird that he asked for a partial refund after he ordered it. But maybe I got what he was saying.
Not an experienced online buyer.
Yeah, because I think he was saying hey, I went ahead and bought it. Can I have a little bit of money back? And I was like, you know what? I don't care. Have it. Have it. Still made some good money on it. So I was happy about that. All right. Next one for you.
So this was actually, I sold 2 of these. So we talked about these in a sourcing video a long time ago, but Katy actually negotiated the pricing for me. We went to a garage sale. I bought 3 vintage old stock Coleman sleeping bags, $10 a piece. Hefted them home. They're kind of big, kind of heavy. They come in their boxes, but it's like new old stock. I sold one of them a long time ago when I first got it. I sold the first one for like $150. And then I had somebody make an offer to me on the remaining 2 the other day. So I sold 2 to the same person. I sold them for $85 each. And then they paid $50 shipping each. So it was I think it was $172 plus they paid $100 shipping. So it was $272. The actual shipping cost, because the offer came in from California, I shipped them in 2 packages, basically in the boxes they're in. I just retaped the original boxes. And they shipped for $25 a piece. Yeah. So basically I made $225 on the sale.
Not too shabby. If I remember right, he said something like $30 each or something like that when we were at that garage sale. And I was like, how about 30 for all 3? And he kind of hesitated. And then his wife was right there and she said, yes, we'll take it.
Yes. She wanted to get rid of them. So I ended up doing quite well on these, and they're not difficult to ship. They're just big and bulky. Right. So thankfully it was going to California, and they went FedEx, and they actually got there in 1 day. I shipped them out on Friday. He purchased them Thursday afternoon, shipped them Friday, and he sent me a message yesterday that he had received them. So
very, very cool.
And he purchased them, incidentally, and he did not say this with his offer. He said it after he purchased them. So I probably would have done a little bit nicer on my offer, but he buys them to give out to the homeless. So buying expensive sleeping bags to give out to the homeless, I mean, win-win. It's a nice guy.
For sure. Well, these are nice ones. These are because they're old and they're nice and big, and they're for very cold, so they go like into negative degrees.
I don't know where in California he was buying from. It was probably high desert.
Yeah. All right. This next jacket, this is another one that got relisted recently through Sell Similar. And this is just a vintage. It's Acoustic Research, which is like a high-end like sound equipment company, I think. And like they do speakers and stuff like that. Anyway, I've had this for maybe like a year. I'm not entirely sure. But somebody offered $100 and I said, hot diggity dog, I'll take $100. I'm happy to make some money off of this, get it out of my inventory. So I sold 2 hats this week. I didn't put them up in the thing, but I don't buy hats anymore. I haven't
you haven't bought a hat in years.
I haven't listed. The last time I got hats was before I moved here. And it was when I did that bulk buy or whatever. So I haven't bought hats to sell in a couple of years. I just have these ones left over, and I've sold 2 in the last week, for $20 a piece. I took $20 offers because it's they go under 8 ounces, and I paid $5 for them initially. So I'm I don't care. I'm just going to get them out. But
so Anna Stewart asked, "You guys do tracking on all sales?" Yes, I don't. You need to be buying your shipping through eBay postage or through pirate ship or something like that. Since you need to upload your tracking information for every sale, regardless of the platform, yes, you're going to need tracking.
I mean, there's not.
I don't think there's anything that doesn't offer tracking.
The only thing that doesn't offer tracking is first class letters
with a stamp.
Right. And so, yes, there are some people who might sell, what is it called? What's the paper stuff called?
Ephemera.
Stuff like that, where some people will make the decision because it's such a low margin that they'll have a separate account just that doesn't do tracking.
Gotcha.
But
she said she's in Canada. Well, I don't understand. I don't ship out of Canada, obviously, but I ship to Canada all the time, and everything has tracking. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know how they do it in Canada, but maybe they don't have tracking on everything. But yeah, that is the nice thing here is that we have everything tracking. So, all right, next one for you.
This one sold on Etsy. I sat on it for a little while. I believe if Kara's still in the chat, I think it's Kara Cooper that has been watching this for a while. I knew I was going to sit on it for a little bit. I think I paid $10 for it. It might have even been less than $10, honestly, but the most I paid was $10. And it sold on Etsy for...
Hold on. I forgot to get my flipper tools ready.
Ugh.
I'm horrible. I know.
Ugh.
Hold on. All right. Let me grab that real quick. Make that sound one more time.
Ugh.
Here you go.
And it sold on Etsy for $125.
What?
I did do free shipping on this, and it is a little bit bulky, so it'll probably cost me about $15 to $20 to ship.
Mm-hmm.
It's not super heavy; it's just a little bulky.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. How big is it?
I don't know, about
Is it
yay
like
big.
a little...
The measurements are somewhere in there. No, I didn't even put the measurements in
It
there.
just looks big.
What a crappy listing I did. But yeah, I mean, it's a heavy train case for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
very nice. All right. So next one for me is this Patagonia. Oh, hold on a second. Noelle, Farm Girl Scavenger, just did a $5 super chat. Hey. Finally able to make a live. Be looking for packages. We like packages and some sour stuff for me. What? There's a lot of emojis going on there.
I know. She's very expressive.
But thanks, Noelle, for the super chat. I'll do a little super chat. You can see the tiny little Vikki face making faces. Anyway, thanks, Noelle. We appreciate it. We will be looking for those for some prizes in the mail. Okay, so I have this Patagonia field jacket. This is another one that I got from Derek. The Vintage Fiend, I believe is his name.
You say that every time you believe it. That is what it is.
Vintage I know Fiend. because my mind keeps wanting to say like I don't know what I'm saying, but I keep messing it up in my brain, and then I worry. Oh, the Thrift Fiend is the one I keep trying to say, and then I stop myself and say Vintage.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so this field jacket, I sold it. So I took an offer for $150. Somebody offered $150, and I was like, you know what? I'm good with that. So I got $150. So now, guys, I'm just about I just about broke even with my my bulk buy from him, and that was, let's see, I got 50 items from him, and I've now sold about 12. And all the rest of the items are just as good. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. That I'm already now, it's like moving forward, it's all just going to be just gravy.
Yeah. Right? Five times your investment is pretty good.
So I'm pretty excited about that, especially when you're paying up for stuff. But and I wasn't entirely sure with this jacket. I'm like, I don't know what kind of market there is for Patagonia field jackets, because
there aren't that many.
Right? It's like, it's not one that you see as much, but it's this like kind of flannel lined jacket, but $150. Pretty stoked about that. Pretty happy about it. All right. Next one for you.
This is another Etsy sale. I picked this up. It's not even high Christmas time yet. Like, it's not peak Christmas selling time, but I picked this up for, that's a shitty picture. Well, see, my pictures are bad sometimes, guys.
Terrible.
I picked this up for $5 at a garage sale a few weeks ago.
That was a good garage sale.
It really was. I've sold everything except one thing that I bought there. I bought like 5 things and I've sold 4 of them. So I paid $5 for it. It sold on Etsy for
Here we go.
Really, with the Star Wars. Sold for $150.
What? That's crazy.
I did do free shipping. This is a big item. But what I did, I put free economy shipping. So what I did was I contacted the customer after they purchased it, thanked them for their purchase, and said, if they are interested in receiving upgraded shipping, I can ship it without the box. If they want the original box, it would be the economy shipping price. So really, it was going to go the same way either way. But they don't know that. Without the box, I can fit it into a normal size priority box, and shipping will be a lot less. And she's like, I don't want the box.
Nice.
There we go.
There you go. Nice
I
work.
will upgrade it to priority.
There you go. Real quick. So it's not popping up here yet. It takes a little while over here. Maybe it doesn't pop up at all. Adam's Exploits Adam did a $4 super sticker, is what it's called. See this little guy right here? This little hippo. Okay. It's a super sticker. We don't have a super sticker song, Adam, but you know what? Not this next week, but the week after, right?
Yes. A week from Wednesday, we're going to be on Adam's show. He's actually pushing back the time of the show for us a little bit. I believe he's going to be pushing it back to 2:00. Correct me if I'm wrong, Adam. 2:00 Pacific time on Wednesday, because we do our show at 11. Not that we need 3 hours in between, just he normally does it like right after ours, and we wouldn't necessarily have enough time.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing his show, which should be interesting. Adam has a YouTube channel. He's just starting out the last several months or so. I think he just got over 1,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're excited.
But yeah, what's the Adam? Tell us what the date of that is. I don't know. I think it's like the 23rd
right.
or
I'm correct. A week from Wednesday.
Yeah. So anyway,
we'll let you know. We'll put a link up.
We'll definitely be letting you guys
happens.
know for sure. All right, next one for me. I've got this UCLA Bruins Final Four T-shirt. This wasn't a huge sale, but I just wanted to, just kind of talk about, with T-shirts that being worn is okay. And I know I've talked about this before, but you might see a T-shirt like this.
The collar.
You might see a T-shirt like this and be like, really? Like, is this really worth picking up? Look, it's got a hole right there, right in the middle of the front of it. It's all like faded. It's got a hole right there. You get close up to the collar. It's all like somebody's been chewing on it, maybe. It's just pretty.
By the way, guys, I just want to interrupt real quickly. We are going to be doing a giveaway a little bit later on in the show, so don't tune out.
Yeah. Listen to us, okay, guys? Listen. Anyway, so this T-shirt pretty faded, but I went ahead and picked it up, listed it, and I sold it. And I sold it for, tell you right now, I'm going to tell you right now. Sold it for $47.99. Sold it for almost $50. So I'm telling you guys, now it just depends. You got to get the eye for the fade because not all T-shirts or clothing that's distressed is necessarily going to be desirable. But this is a nice fade. It's a nice wear on it. So if you're somebody who likes this kind of thing, this kind of shirt that's worn like this is a pretty tasty one. I know you think it's gross.
I do.
All right, next one to you.
Oh, look, there's some eyeballs. Dana peeping in.
What? All right, real quick here, though. Red Neckerson resales, $1.63.
Go on. Come on.
Super chat.
Hurry up.
Yay! Yay!
Did you have to get a second breath?
I just wanted to be obnoxious. Yay! Go ahead.
All right. So, can you, click off the thing?
Oh, yes. My apologies.
So, yeah, this is one of those things. Again, I've showed these on the show before. New, old stock, health and beauty items. I paid $1. I sold it on Etsy for...
Sometimes you just really get committed to a brand and you spend the rest of your life spending.
I don't know about that, but for $110, plus they paid $25 shipping. It's going to Canada. It's going to cost me $9 to ship, $9 and change to ship.
Canadians are very loyal to their sanitary napkin brands.
I have no idea.
That's pretty funny. All right. Ooh, kitty cat's yelling.
Yep.
All right. So
we're babysitting the naked kitty again.
Yeah, we have the naked kitty again. All right. So this is the last item that we're going to show you guys. This is just a Reebok kind of.
Is this the last item?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next thing?
What do you mean there's the next thing? There is no next thing.
Okay.
Hush up. Okay. So this is just a Reebok kind of puffy puffer jacket. I don't buy a lot of Reebok stuff. But if it's something like this, where it has like the huge big spell out across the back, then I will, if it looks cool enough. So I sold this and you can check it out. It's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool jacket. I think it's pretty cool. I sold this, and not only did I sell it, I sold it to, I believe it's going to Germany. I haven't shipped it yet. It's going to Germany. So I sold it for $59.99. It's not a giant price tag, but because it's heavier, I think it's like 3 pounds or something like that. Because it's heavier, they actually paid like 33 something shipping, or $33.75 shipping on top of the $59.99 to go to Germany. And with the pirate ship discount, I'm probably going to get it's probably only going to cost like $20, a little over $20 to ship it. So I'll make like an extra $10, $15 on it from the shipping because of the pirate ship discount.
Because of the pirate ship.
The pirate ship discount. That is why I'm making more money on this jacket.
Weirdo. Nathan's very loyal to his sanitary napkin brands. He says his feminine napkins have been very kind to me.
Yeah,
All right, Nathan, you're a weirdo.
All right, so that's it. That's it for our sold highlights for the week. I think we did all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to share. So guys, so I got a message from, Pat Norman. I don't think he's in the chat today. I haven't seen him at least. He sent me a message the other day and said he had a little something for me and asked for the address to be able to send it to me. And let me tell you, I'm not disappointed. Well, Vicki's disappointed. I am not disappointed. But anyway, Pat sent me two ET cereal bowls. Now they're old, and so I'm not so trustworthy of putting milk in there and eating it out of it. So I'll probably use these as like candy dishes. And I'll probably use them while eating my candy right next to Vicki, so she can just stare at me like that, and I'll be like, "Husband, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, you want to? We could eat out of them at the same time,
Nope.
and be twinsies and be in love. We could show how much we love each other by having matching candy dishes. Come on.
If you don't get it out of my face, I'm gonna punch you.
Anyway, so I just want to say thank you to Pat Norman. Pretty awesome. We'd actually gotten one of these, I think, from the hoarder house,
and I sold it.
And I really kind of wanted to keep it, and then next thing I know, she had listed it already and it sold. So I'm just gonna say, Pat, you kind of saved the day here. And then
Thanks,
and I got two of them.
Thanks, Pat.
And I got two of them instead of just one, so it's even better because now since she won't hold it,
Jimmy, it's not that I don't like ET. It's that I don't need tchotchkes and crap in my house. We may sell a lot of this stuff, but I hate having it collecting dust. I don't like tchotchkes.
Well, it's not going to be in your part of the house, so back off, woman.
Frenchie!
What?
Oh my goodness, haven't seen you forever.
What? Frenchie, what is happening? Good to see you. But also, though, I would like to say that Lori has a fantastic idea. I should probably be filling these with Reese's Pieces. In fact, we have Reese's Pieces in the house at this very moment. I'm going to put Reese's Pieces in here, and you can't stop me, okay?
Okay, so
you can't stop me.
Let's get
later
moving.
on, guys. I'm going to post on Instagram me eating Reese's Pieces out of my new ET candy dishes, repurposed from an old cereal bowl.
Repurposed.
Yeah, repurposed.
Completely repurposed.
It's completely repurposed. It was made for cereal, and Reese's Pieces are not cereal. That's repurposing. Just
Listen,
saying.
I'm going to do a giveaway now before we get into our haul of the week. Right. Is that okay?
Yeah.
We have 205 people watching. When we get up to 100 thumbs up, we will do our haul.
205 people who have made poor choices on their Sunday. Just saying.
So here's the thing. One of the things I want to talk about, we do talk about them sometimes, is List Perfectly. They are one of the sponsors of our Wednesday show. So Amanda, Clara, and Teresa make up the List Perfectly team, and T-Money, as she may be called. They're going to be doing a free webinar this afternoon, and it's at, I think it's at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock Pacific time.
Today?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's in a couple hours, and the link to this webinar is in the Boss Facebook group. It's also on the List Perfectly Facebook page. It's on the List Perfectly website. Go check it out. The only reason I am mentioning that is because I'm going to watch the webinar, and it's free, and it teaches you about the product and about some of the changes and that have happened with the app, and about some of the things that they're going to be coming up with soon. So I'll be watching it because I always pick up something new. But in consideration of that, I'm going to give away a List Perfectly t-shirt. Mm-hmm. So we've got 88 thumbs up. Come on, 12 more of you people, please.
And we will throw in some other little goodies.
We always do.
Throw in a little candy, maybe.
We'll throw in a little something, maybe a couple stickers,
buttons,
maybe
some candy,
maybe even a gift card.
Maybe some candy.
So this is a List Perfectly t-shirt. It was donated by the List Perfectly ladies. It is an extra large. And I think we need just about 5 or 6 more thumbs up. We got 212 people watching now.
That's madness.
And as soon as we reach 100, we're over 101 thumbs up. Keep giving thumbs up anyway, guys. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write down a number. We're going to do this pretty quickly. I am going to write down a number because we have 200 people. That means nothing, but I'm going to write down a number between the but don't guess yet. Allison, no guessing yet. Between the numbers of 1 and 75. And I'm going to write down that number, and you guys are going to guess. It's going to be the first one that we are able to see in the chat. Your chat may look different than ours, so keep that in mind. And you can guess number between 1 and 75 and start now.
Oh boy. Here we go. What's the number? What am I looking for? Okay. Oh, right there.
All right. Pretty fast. You can stop guessing, stop guessing, stop guessing. We have the number already. It happened in the first few guesses, actually.
Hold on, I gotta go find it again. Jeez, you guys. Right there.
Fast.
Right there.
Joel McKinley. The number is 57. Let me just get a little closer so you can see that.
There you
go. Joel McKinley, if you can email Katy with your address, her email address is right below this video.
Mm-hmm.
Send an email to Katy, and I'll get this out to you tomorrow.
Do that. And I also realized I think I have the wrong link down below for List Perfectly. I'll have to fix it after the show. But if you guys want to check out List Perfectly, oh, it's rejecting. Why is it? Oh, because I did it there. I'll do it over here. Nope, it doesn't like it. It says no. It says no. It's not letting me share a link apparently, but whatever. I'll have to update the thing after the show's over. Anyway, all right. So we got some stuff to share.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So let's get into our haul for the week.
What you got?
And I'll get started, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I picked up this week, we did go sourcing a couple of different locations. Plus, I had a lot of stuff donated to me from my friend. So these are two things that I picked up. I did pay $15 a piece. They are new in box, but the boxes, as you can see, are pretty janky. So I paid $15 each. I've got 2 Barbie dolls. These are from the 90s, and they are, they're considered vintage. They're African-American versions, and this is why they have some decent value, because they're the African-American versions. One is Fountain Mermaid Barbie, and one is Jewel Hair Mermaid Barbie. They're both African-American versions of the doll.
Fountain Mermaid Barbie, my favorite.
Yeah, so the Mermaid Barbie is about $100, and the Jewel Hair Mermaid Barbie will sell for about $100, and Fountain Mermaid Barbie will sell for about $50 or $60. I'm going to price them both higher than that because we're heading into Q4. So, the janky boxes are still good. They would sell for more if the boxes were in great condition. They're not. But the dolls are in perfect condition. They've never been removed from the box. They're not faded. They're not dirty. There's nothing wrong with them. Just the boxes are in crap condition. So they would sell for a lot more otherwise. So figure I'm going to sell these for about $150 for both, and I paid $30 for both.
Very nice. Very nice.
So yeah, not all Barbies that are new in the box are worth anything. Not all Barbies from the 80s or the 90s, but even new in box, or those Christmas Barbies, the holiday Barbies. A lot of people think that they've collected them forever. They find them at a garage sale and somebody's selling for $20 a piece. They really do not have a lot of value individually, most of them. So you definitely want to look them up. Some sell for a good amount and some sell for $5. Mm-hmm. So just because it's new in the box and it's 20, 30, or 40 years old does not mean it has collectible value, because obviously Barbie is a very prolific company, still is, and only certain ones are going to be, worth the money. This is another new old stock item I picked up. I paid $4 for it. This guy, he's really cute, isn't he? He's like a little striped bear. It's a Thimble. Thimble is a BBC cartoon, the Thimbles. So his name is, he has a name. Fimbo. Fimbo the film Thimble. Say that 3 times fast.
Fimbo.
He's just a cute little stuffy, and he's in his box. He'll probably sell for about $75. He's from, it's BBC cartoons, so it's not going to be as recognizable to a lot of us here in America. But because of that, there are not that many on the U.S. site. Mm-hmm. He's vintage from the 90s as well.
Reselling Diva says, reminds me of the Wuzzles.
It kind of does look like a Wuzzle. A Wuzzle, it was a cartoon in the 90s, maybe late 90s, I think. So these I think I've probably talked about before, and I know other people have as well. These are the Hallmark Christmas things. They sing and their cheeks light up, and sometimes they wiggle and dance. There's a whole bunch of different ones. They're like Jingle something, or Jingle Pals, I think they're called. There's a bunch of different ones. Keep an eye out for these. You find them very inexpensively at garage sales and thrift stores. Around Christmas time, as long as you test them, make sure that you test the batteries. See, I paid like $6 for it, I think, $5, because it was 25% off. So around Christmas time, these sell for $40 to $50 a piece, and some of them sell for even more than that.
That's crazy.
I'm pretty excited because they're cute. And just there are tons of people that sell them too inexpensively, but seriously, hold up for the higher price. Around Christmas time, you're going to sell them for at least $40 a piece if they work.
Exactly.
Let's see.
What you got? What you got?
I guess I'll do two little things and then you can go.
Okay.
So I picked these up at, I'm not really sure where, one of the thrift stores over the past couple weeks. These are some Doc Martens, Doc Marten Mary Janes. What's cool about these is that, see how they look like they've got that crackle finish on them and they look really faded and scuffed? They're supposed to look like this. So this is what they look like brand new. These actually have no signs of use on the bottom. I don't know, other than someone wrote the number for the size on the bottom. That's not the price. I paid $5 for them, but they're size 6. They have 0 signs of dirt or use. I'm not sure if they've ever been used, but I listed these for about $85. They're pretty cool docs.
Very nice. Luke says, really enjoying your reselling, so keep up the good work. And Katy, love your vintage stuff. Woo! Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.
This pair of shoes I picked up while we were out sourcing with Noelle. We went sourcing when we were in California. We went to a couple of stores one day. These are vintage Red Wing cowboy boots. So I paid $25 for these. I did pay up for them, but I do believe I'll get at least $125. So the Red Wing tag is inside. They're not as good as like vintage work boots. Let's see if we can you see that kind of sort of?
Yep.
They're not as good as like vintage Red Wing work boots. But when I saw that they were Red Wing and they were vintage, I was like, all right, I'll pay up for them a little bit. So that's it.
Yeah. So Sunny wants to know if I'm giving my hat away. No way. No. This was a present from Victoria, and I love it. I've had it for a while, but I've been wearing it recently. And then Luke wants to know, how often do you hit the bins? We never hit the bins.
We don't.
Because here in Vegas, they are terrible. They're just not worth our time. However, when we go back to Oregon to visit my family, we do go to the bins because the bins there are
not when we visit my family, because there are no bins in Rhode Island. But I would visit them in Oregon again. I would, depending on what states we go and visit other bins, but the bins here are terrible.
Yeah.
In Vegas, we don't have what are called direct donation bins. By the time they get to the bins, they have already cycled through the store and every sale aspect. And by the time they get there, it's really bottom of the barrel junk.
Yeah.
Very little slides through that's worth the time to wait.
Yeah. You really have to be there for a long time and then going for kind of lower priced items. So yeah, it's not worth it. All right. So, you guys are going to be really surprised. I've got some t-shirts, some sweatshirts, and some jackets to show you this week.
I'm shocked.
Can you believe it? Reselling Diva wants to know, do you list every day or just during the week? I would say
you get your t-shirts in
6
while we're talking.
Well, they're right here.
Okay.
6. I would say probably 6 days out of the week I actually get listings up.
Same.
But yeah, we try to almost every day. So yeah. All right, so starting with t-shirts, I think the shirt's awesome. I haven't listed it yet, but it'll probably get listed today. But there's a while you're about to. Sorry, I interrupted you this time. I just want to answer Adam's question: were the boots in that condition, or did you have to recondition them? I didn't do anything; they were in that condition. She doesn't do that stuff. She's not that kind of boot seller. Anyway, so I have this t-shirt. I think this t-shirt's awesome. Anybody who has been reselling for a while knows that anything vintage airlines, usually there's people who collect stuff for airlines, like vintage. And this I think is 70s actually. What do you think? The tag is totally faded. I think really based on the look, it looks very 70s to me, and like a lot of the the fonts and stuff like that are used, like this Denver right here. This looks
I
very
would call
70s.
it 70s.
Yeah, I would say most likely 70s, but it's a United Airlines. It's got like all the different destinations and stuff, and it's just like a really super soft, super thin, not really distressed because there's no holes or anything like that in it, but it's just a really nice, faded, worn in vintage t-shirt. And I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to see if I can find any comps. I doubt I'm never going to find this exact same t-shirt. It'd be very unlikely. But I can at least look at for like old airline t-shirts and see if I can get a feel for what it might go for. But I think I could probably sell it for $50 to $70, depending. I don't know. It's a really cool t-shirt.
It is cool. That is cool. So Luke asked, do you feel the best way to get inventory is your local thrift store? Or are you making deals with consignment stores to buy stuff that maybe they can't sell locally? I'm pointing so you get your stuff ready. So we're not.
My stuff's already ready. It's right here. Oh. You're asking a question. I don't have to do anything.
So the answer is neither one of us get our inventory from consignment stores. We've never needed to go that route. I suppose that's a good way to go if you need another source for inventory. Yeah. Sure. Everything we get from garage sales or thrift stores, and Katy does do private bulk buys occasionally. Yeah. So yeah, I do thrift stores, but honestly, I am moving kind of up into, once you get to where you're comfortable with knowing prices and you can spend up on stuff. Like I'm going to Buffalo Exchange a lot, and really that's like the next level up from thrift stores because it's already curated vintage. So I'm doing that, and I'm doing more bulk buys, and I do want to get more into wholesale. But vintage. So definitely. All right. So this t-shirt I think is dope. It says "Go climb a volcano." It's got awesome fade going on. I don't know how to pronounce this. Lassen Volcanic National Park. This is from 1983. It's just a really cool, look at the fade on the graphics there. I think this is an excellent t-shirt. And these kind of t-shirts also do really well. The kind that are kind of around outdoorsy, hiking, stuff like that. But vintage. Very, very cool. I could probably sell this one for $50. This was from one of the Buffalo Exchanges. I think one of the ones I went to in California, maybe the Costa Mesa one. But very cool t-shirt. And this one is from the Fullerton Buffalo Exchange in California. Guys, who doesn't love some Spuds MacKenzie from the 80s? This is dated 1986. Yep, remember Spuds MacKenzie, and it's got the puffy print where it's like textured. It's just a ridiculous t-shirt. I think these do pretty well, but haven't researched it at all. But I know these do sell. So most of my price points, I've kind of moved up. I don't really pick up t-shirts that I think I'm going to sell for $30. My price points start more now at like $35. I do $35.99, $47.99, $69.99. That's kind of like where my prices. I have like kind of brackets or whatever levels that I price stuff at. So something like this, I pretty much don't buy anything at Buffalo Exchange if I'm not going to price it for at least the $47.99 level. So yeah, because if I'm going to be spending $12, $14 on a t-shirt, I want to be able to sell it for $50. And I'll do one more t-shirt real quick here. This is going to be an experiment because I do the experiment, like spearmint mint gum experiment. So rude. Do you see what's happening here, you guys? Anyway, so I get the t-shirts that are super faded, super torn up, but they've tended to be like sports ones or like sports teams, or I've done like Harley t-shirts and stuff like that. This one is a New Orleans jazz one, and let me tell you, this thing is, you can see how it has that. Yeah, it's like that where you can. Did you wash this one yet? Yeah, I think I washed it. I don't think you did. It smells kind of funky. Okay. It smells like BO, honestly. Okay, that needs washed. Need to wash this. Anyway, this is very, you're very rude. This is very, very distressed. It's got holes. It's super faded. It's super thin. And it is just like torn up. Oh, yes. It's really, okay. It stinks. Calm yourself or I will shove it up your nostrils. BO. It's grossing me out. Get away from me. So we're going to see if I can sell this one after I wash the BO out. She's such an ass. Get it away from me. Well, you make such a big deal about it. I tell her, she shows her hand too many times. Because the second I know she's going to be a big baby about something, I'm going to be putting it all over her face. What? Get it away from me. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, you're such a baby. Show us some stuff.
Oh, I'm going to vomit. Okay. So my friend Carrie came and met us and gave me a bunch of stuff to sell. So one of the things that she gave me, she watches our show occasionally. She doesn't sell online. She doesn't care. She watches our show for the comedic factor, which clearly we provide sometimes. But she gave me a vintage Pendleton blanket. So it's Pendleton plaid. It does have a little bit of kitty hair all over it. She does have animals. So I'm going to have to clean it somehow. But it was free. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably sell it. I haven't looked up the plaid pattern yet, but I'll probably sell it for at least $100. That was one thing she gave me. She did give me a lot of clothes and some jewelry and things like that. Dana, I'll show you some stuff when you come. But one of the other things that she gave me is a brand new pair of Maui Jim sunglasses. And they don't make this size anymore. So this style anymore. And they're brand new and they're just really beautiful women's glasses. And the receipt is in the bag. So these were $300 glasses. I have them listed for about $150 right now. So that's just very nice. Two of the things. Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
Very, very nice.
Crusty and smelly cells. Stop it. I'm sorry. That's I'm gonna hurl Frenchie.
So Luke has a question. He says, I'm curious how you get customers on eBay to pay the higher prices for the vintage items, because I've noticed myself when I'm reselling, I get a lot of low bid offers. Well, first of all, a lot of times they do move a little bit slower. However, I know for myself, it has a lot to do with, I follow all the best practices other than being price competitive. So I think I have like some of the best listings out there. And with these kinds of things that people collect, it is somewhat of an impulse buy. Nobody needs an old vintage t-shirt. So the better it looks, in my opinion, the better the listing looks, the better the pictures look. It makes people want to buy them. But I don't know. You got to ask for what you want. And I have noticed that vintage t-shirts, just for me, like going and trying to source on eBay, prices are going up. It's not that easy to find good vintage t-shirts at a low price. So you just kind of got to decide like what you want to do and what you want to price stuff at, if you're willing to wait a little bit longer, and whatever your sales model is.
I want to answer one question we saw. I just saw it in the chats from Sebastian. We go down a little bit right there. When you say things like turn 400 into 5,000, do you really? Well, if you watched the show from the beginning, or if you watched us frequently every week, we actually go over our sales numbers every single week. And that is, the answer is yes. That is our gross sales. It's our cost of goods for that particular week, and then the gross sales from those specific goods.
Yeah.
And then we talk about our net after that. But we both net around 60 to 65% of that amount that you're seeing.
So it's definitely, we're sensationalizing it a little bit. It's a little clickbaity, but it's what we paid into it and then what we get gross.
I don't think it's clickbait. It's actual.
Well, no, but we're not
Nobody
taking 400 out of
their
our
net sales.
Right. We're not taking 400 out of our pocket and then putting 5,000 into our pocket.
But we talk about specifically what we paid. So yeah, if you follow us, if you look at our stores, you can see the sales all day long.
We show all the breakdown.
We're very transparent in a way that most YouTubers are not. So what else did we say here? Are you done with your? So this was something I picked up at the Goodwill in California. So this is a Trader Sam's tiki bowl. What's nice about this is I paid $3 for it. It's a first edition. This one sells for a little over $100 very easily.
Does it say first edition on the
bottom? It says it on the bottom. And it has a natural, there's no defects, no cracks or chips or anything like that. It does have a natural inclusion on top, but that was part of the way it was made and fired. It was fired with that because the glaze is on top of it. It's not a break. And we actually went to Trader Sam's while we were there that week in Disney. And so I got a couple swizzle sticks I'll throw in with the purchase, but I'm pretty excited. It'll be a good flip.
How much will it go for?
It'll go for about 100, 125.
Nice.
Plus shipping. So the other thing I picked up when we went to Trader Sam's, we've talked about this before a little bit, maybe not. I'm not sure. I think I've talked about it before in the past. When you go to the Tiki Bar, Trader Sam's, one of the good things to do is always order your cocktails in the mug that it comes with. It costs about $45 for the drink with the mug, but they give you a mug to take home in the box. And there's not a single one there that sells for less than $45 online.
Yeah.
So pretty much you're going to pay more money up front, but you get your money back. So basically you could drink for free.
It's just a way to drink for free and not, even if you're not going to make money.
Specifically, this particular mug, I only had one cocktail that night. This particular mug sells for, and then they give you the mug new, by the way. They give it to you in a box when you leave. So this particular mug sells for about $60. So either way, I'm going to make some money on my cocktail. Now, I'm not somebody that can drink 3, 4, 5 cocktails, don't get me wrong. I could have purchased as many as you want, but that's not who I am. So one's enough for me, but it's a nice little profit to make on the cocktail.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh, and Luke says, thank you so much for answering my questions. I think we talked on Instagram. He's doing sells some vintage and has an IG account. Baum Vintage. Baum Vintage. I don't know. I'm terrible.
Like bomb.
Anyway, I did check it out. You got some cool stuff. So definitely, guys, if anybody else is interested, go check out Luke there. Is it my turn again, or are you still going?
I just did 2. So you want to do 2 at a time?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I actually don't have a ton to show this week, guys. Sorry. But I'll just show a couple of my finds from the week that I'm going into getting in some clothing a little bit. One of those brands that people still look for and does still sell, just depends on what it is the North Face. So I picked up this sweatshirt for, it says $11.99. So it was 25% off of that. What's nice about North Face, if you don't know already, is that if you look at their inside tag, it's always going to have the year and the style number. So look for the year and the style number on their inside tags. I'm trying to see and you can look it up and you'll get the exact name of what the item was. So it makes it easier to list. So I paid under $10 for this. It's probably going to sell for like 50 or 60, not a huge collectible one, not vintage or anything like that.
Real quick, Noel said, talking about that tiki bowl, I walked by that stupid bowl 3 times, count them 3 times, and then Vikki just grabbed it off the shelf. Like, yeah! I'm assuming that's what she meant. Like, yeah!
As soon as I walked in the back of the store, I saw it and grabbed it. Yeah. And she was up and down those aisles the whole time. Okay, so I picked up this gorgeous vintage skirt. I paid about $5 for it. And it's just this really pretty iridescent, it has gold threads running through it. It's probably from like the 60s, early 60s.
Looks like old-timey Christmas wrapping paper.
Yeah, I guess it kind of does. So I'll probably list this for about $75. It's just a vintage. Let's see if I can hold it up so you can kind of see. It's just a pleated skirt, but it has the crinoline underneath it, which makes it puffy. It's really pretty. I wish I could iron pleats better because I would try to make this look a little bit better, but I'm terrible at it.
Victoria says taffeta?
Not taffeta. It's almost like a brocade.
Gotcha.
Or like a woven tapestry.
Ooh.
So, all right, your turn.
Ooh. Let's do some t-shirts, guys.
I only have 4 more items, so my last run through will be my last.
All right. I don't know what kind of market there is for this t-shirt, but I think it's awesome. This is from the 1980 census, guys. The 1980 census, y'all. I think it's fantastic. So, again, going back to learning your tags, at some point, eventually I'll get around to putting together some sort of like show or webinar or whatever you want to call it. That's all about tags. But I just want to keep kind of driving it home. This one clearly was from 1980. And you can look at this tag right here. And when you see this tag, generally it's going to be from the 80s, guys. The sportswear. It's like some brand that is.
And again, when you see the measurements, like you have the medium and it has the chest inches measurements on it, that's generally from an 80s or earlier type of tag.
Yeah,
too.
I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen
nothing
it on the
90s or newer. Yeah.
But just awesome t-shirt. I love it. Next one is, this is just a city t-shirt, Atlanta, but I think it's a fantastic design. I like the color of it. And this is from 1982. This tag, I mean, this tag's just like, I don't even know what it is. It's all raggedy and faded, so you can't even read anything on it.
Look at, no, they're all talking about your 1980s shirt. Karen's like, it's the year I graduated. Noelle's like, it's the year I was in high school. It's the year Katy was born.
Yeah, see, there you go. Anyway, so this is just, I just think it's a really cool design, really cool t-shirt. And so I grabbed this. So these are the kind of t-shirts that like, they get overlooked a lot of times because people are just looking for band t-shirts or sports t-shirts, the stuff that's like really simple to see by the people who are getting into buying vintage t-shirts and flipping vintage t-shirts. Mm-hmm. These ones get passed up. And then I come and I swoop in and I go, yeah, that's what I do.
Right in my damn ear.
Don't make me get the BO shirt
Luke's
back.
Last question. I know you guys are doing the reselling. Is there a bigger end game and picture for the end, maybe your own branded website, or do you just enjoy the freedom and flexibility of selling on eBay? So the latter part for both of us. We're not looking, this is the end game. We're not looking to grow this into an empire. I've been selling on eBay for more than 15 years, actually more than 20 years. Mm-hmm. Katy's been selling for like the past 4 or 5 years. We just enjoy making a very good income at our own speed, doing something we both love. Mm-hmm. Combined, we will probably exceed $250,000 in sales this year of just the two of us. We don't have employees. Gross. That's gross. We don't have employees. We have 2 separate businesses that we run separately under the same roof. And we get to take a lot of time off to travel and visit friends. And we live in Las Vegas, so we host friends a lot coming to visit. And it's just a fun lifestyle that allows us to pay our bills and a little bit above that. And we're happy with that. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, for sure. All right. Last t-shirt I got. Now I might've grabbed this just because we had just been to Disneyland. And so I was already feeling nostalgic. Mm-hmm. 4 days later, I got this at the Buffalo here in town. But I think it's pretty adorable. It's a Donald Duck, Walt Disney World t-shirt. And this is definitely at least 80s, right? Because if you look at the t-shirt, like we were just saying, you look at the tag and you can see right there, like I'm not an expert at all when it comes to Disney stuff. But you see how it has the size and like what Vikki was just saying about the numbers. So it's a small 34, 36, 100% combed cotton. That's a very like early 80s, maybe late 70s, but definitely like early 80s t-shirt. And it's adorable. Look at how cute Donald is. And it's got the old school.
I would have worn that if that would fit over my big boobs to go to your
it wouldn't fit me. So all right, go ahead.
So I just have 4 more things to show. Back on the North Face kick. I did pick this up I paid $27 for this. I did pay up for it a little bit, but it's goose down. It's a North Face 3/4 length navy jacket that's goose down, and it's women's. So this is one that I'll sell for, I haven't even looked it up, but at least $150. So it may even go for more than that because it's goose. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of happy with that one. It's plain, but it's in good shape.
Very, very nice.
This is one that I paid less than $10 for, I believe. I did take the tag off because I washed it. It was kind of grungy. And now I've got to like sweater shave it because it's got
some bits.
It's got some bits stuck to it. But this is one that Katy has talked about this brand, as have I. This is a vintage Descente, depending on how you want to pronounce it. So that's the brand. This one was made in Hong Kong. So my guess is that means it's like late 80s, early 90s. And it's a ski jacket. It's a big, bulky, black and red ski jacket with a little bit of a bunch of tags on it. And it's got a little... like a little arrow.
Descent did a lot of Olympic skiing and stuff like that. Clothes like in the 80s for a lot of the teams. So I like it a lot.
Ooh, Grandma Cheap. Remember Triple Fat Down? Yes, I do. Triple Fat Goose Down. Picked one up for $3. That's a great buy.
Very nice.
I have not found one yet. Actually, that's one of my holy grails out in the wild. Have not found one.
Dana says, $27. I would have had a stroke paying
doll hairs.
I would have had a stroke paying $27. That's why I was making my face at that, because sometimes you got to spend up though. If you know you can get. I mean, I understand that like it's a matter of having the money to shell out when you don't know how long it's going to take to sell something. But sometimes you got to pay up to get the good stuff.
All right, so I've got 2 more things to show, and then I'm done for the week. I did have a lot more stuff. A lot of it was just clothing though, and it seems very repetitive. So it wasn't anything new or specific brand wise that I was going to like be enlightening you with. But so one thing I picked up was, this is just vintage plus size Elizabeth. So it's Liz Claiborne. That's their plus size company, is Elizabeth. But what's nice about this is it's one of I think this one was made in the USA. But it's this great like Southwest Aztec pattern. This is super, super hot right now. It's actually never really gone out of fashion, but it's a big oversized sweater in the Southwest pattern. So I paid, this one was actually, I think this was the 50% off tag, if I remember correctly, but I think I paid $5 for this. And I'll probably sell it for at least 50 or 60. And then the other thing that I picked up, again, they're putting out all the sweaters and jackets now here. They don't keep them out year round here. They put them away and then they bring them out in winter. So this is an Obermeyer. Obermeyer is a high-end ski wear brand. They sell jackets and hats and sweaters. This is women's. They do identify their sweaters by men's and women's. Clearly you can tell this is women's anyway because of the flowers on it, but it's a really nice like combination of kind of like a geometric Fair Isle kind of sorta, but it's not quite Fair Isle in pattern. Anyway, so it's a northern heavyweight sweater. I paid $5 and change for it. Again, I'll probably sell this for at least 50 or 60. Might have come from the same person. It's a larger size. So
yeah. Pulley Lad HD says, been selling for about 2 months, just hit 40 pounds a day for the past few weeks. Noticed in the last few days, sales have dropped quite a bit. Did you two have this issue when you were first starting? Here's the thing. If you've only been doing it for a couple months, I'm going to guess you probably don't have that many listings. So you might maybe comment how many listings you actually have. Because here's the thing. For a while, you're not going to be able to see any real patterns. Like, let's say you only have a couple hundred listings. They're all thrifted items. You're really not going to see any real patterns that you can discern anything from. But yeah, it's like at first you're going to have a lot of sporadic sales. And sometimes you're going to have a week where you sell a bunch, you're going to get really excited and you're going to think like it's really taking off now. And then a week after that, suddenly it drops off and it's going to be really frustrating. And it's going to maybe be hard to stay motivated, but you just kind of got to go with it and keep moving forward.
It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. You're going to sell a percentage of what you have listed. And that percentage, if it is used one-off items, is going to be lower than it would be as if it were brand new, higher commodity items. It's everybody's pattern is going to be different. Some people say you're going to sell 30 or 40% a month of your inventory. That is, I've never seen anything like that personally. If I did, I'd be, in the millions a year. But it doesn't happen for me, and that's okay. I make a good living on what I do. Everybody's numbers are going to be a little different. Nobody is selling the exact same items. So it's really difficult to say that there is a formula for each person. There isn't. There is no set formula to follow. If there was, we would all be making a ton of money.
Here's the formula I can give you. As long as you have items that people want, which again, that's not really a formula because that's the thing you got to figure out. So items that people actually want, and you have a decent number of let me start over. Items people actually want, and you have good listings. So regardless of how many listings you have, they need to be items people want, and they need to be good listings, meaning good pictures, good policies, all that jazz. After you get those two things dialed in, then it's a matter of inventory levels. So raising your inventory in order to make more money, and regular, consistent activity. That means listing almost daily, if you can, even if it's only a couple listings a day, but being active. But you have to break that code at the beginning of what do people actually want that I can sell, and am I doing a quality listing? Those are the two key things. And after that, it's just number of listings and
as Adam says, 1 to 2% daily sell-through rate is good. It depends on the person, depends on what you're selling. I think that's probably around where I am. I'm not even sure actually. I know I sell between 10 and 12% sell-through per month.
Yeah. See, and so Pulley Lad HD says they have 210 listings. And so that's the thing. When I very first started out, I went from 0 to 60 right away. I'm just talking like speed here. But and so I was just listing. And if I remember, it was around 250 listings that I started to feel like I was getting some sort of regularity in my sales. But it really wasn't until I probably hit, and this is for thrifted one-off items, like 800 to 1,000 listings, that I really felt like I had I could see more patterns in how things were going from week to week. So 200 listings, you're just not going to see it.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to go through real quick the last few things that I have. I showed on my Instagram this amazing ski sweater that I found hidden away in the women's section. They pretty much put any sweatshirts or t-shirts that are pink or purple, sometimes blue. They end up going over to the women's section. Now, obviously, this could be considered unisex. I will list it as men's because that's just where it's going to get the most views and most likely to be sold. But it's awesome, embroidered amazingness. So if you
Hold it up all the way so you can see.
If you are out, it's Mount Rose, which is Lake Tahoe. If you are just looking for men's stuff, don't forget to check out the women's section in their long sleeve activewear, where sweatshirts are and where t-shirts are, because like I said, a lot of times some really cool vintage, some of the stuff that's a little smaller ends up getting tucked away there, and it doesn't get grabbed as quickly because people aren't looking for it.
So Pulley Lad, just to give you a little tip, if you like our show and you want to go back through some of our older listings, our older shows, look through the YouTube channel and look for the ones that are marked as a story view. The story views we do for a lot of people will definitely help a new seller and help you get started from the get-go with a lot of best tips for how to do your listings, create your titles, your policies, as well as take photos and how to highlight things like that. So you're at the perfect point right now with a brand new store and new listings and just starting out to learn the best way to do things from the beginning. And if you do that, I guarantee you're going to have better sales.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not going to make mistakes like we've all done. And you'll make a few, but maybe you'll make a little less.
Yeah. So just a couple more things here. This last sweatshirt I have, I don't normally buy the Echo Unlimited anymore. It's that Mark Echo. What's the other brand that's kind of tied up in that? It's just not, it's kind of not as popular anymore. It's gone out of style for the last couple of years, but there's some stuff that I will still pick up. And this is, I think, pretty awesome. This is Echo Unlimited, but it's with Marvel. And so it's got Captain America. And this is really cool, kind of not quite, it's like this weird, like not embroidered, but patch almost of Captain America. And it's got the little Captain America embroidered on there, and then like on the sleeve it's got Captain America badge, and it's just a really cool sweatshirt, and this will sell. I should be able to get minimum $50. I might go for even more, but it's just a fantastic crossover team up between Marvel and Echo Unlimited. So I went ahead and grabbed that, and I'm going to go last two things.
And the other question someone asked is, how long does it take to get to 50 listings or 50 sales a week? I do about 50 sales a week. So it really depends on what you have listed and what you have listed, what your prices are. That number of listings is or number of sales per week is really going to be dependent on what you sell.
And the whole sell-through rate, it all depends on
everybody's different.
If you're doing fast, high volume, lower margin, or if you're doing slower, higher priced items with bigger margins, it all depends on what your sales model is and what you're looking for. Because, our sell-through rates that we have, I think yours is a little bit better than mine. But ours would be terrible if somebody who had a different model where they were doing lower margins, higher volume.
Exactly. And it would also be, we sell higher priced items. And we are both of the model that we are not looking to do high, fast turnover. We're looking to get the most out of the money that we've invested. So I don't mind waiting 6 months to make $100 on an item I've paid $3 for, where some people would be willing to flip it within 2 days to make $50 on that item. And that's okay. They're just two completely different business models.
It comes with having a certain level of expertise in your niche or across multiple types of items. And so for me, I can demand those higher prices, but it takes a little bit longer, but it's less actual work in my opinion. So, all right. So one of the savers I went to, the Rancho one, which is it's my least favorite one. It's the one I'm most likely to walk out of with nothing or only one or two things, but I still go to it. It's on my loop. And this time I was sure happy. I ended up spending like $85 the other day. I got so much stuff just at that one. It's more than I've ever gotten at that one location. But what was really cool is I found this jacket. This is new with tags. And it's just like a pullover windbreaker with a roll-up hood on the back. But it's for Air Kauai helicopters. Okay, so it's embroidered there. And on the back, it's got full embroidery with a little helicopter. It's got the waterfall. I mean, this is just a really cool jacket. This kind of stuff I sell all the time. I do really well with. But even better, not only did I have this one, they had 3 of them there, and they're all new with tags. So I got 3 of them. They're priced at like $7.50, and then I got 25% off. So great price. But yeah, I'll definitely be able to sell these. Any of these ones that have like helicopter stuff and like embroidery on them, machinery, any kind of machinery.
I still don't know
oil rigs,
why people buy the crap they buy, but they do.
They do. So I love it. I love it. And then the very last thing I will show, I got this at Buffalo Exchange this week. I'll show you the back first. This is a little teaser. Wool with suede leather sleeves in fantastic condition, guys. They had this priced at like $24 or something like that. And I was like, what? And Dana would have been like, oh. So, but I think 24 was a great price for it. This is Hanging with Mr. Cooper, guys. Anybody used to watch this show? So Hanging with Mr. Cooper, this was a television show. This was a sitcom back in the 90s.
Probably belonged to someone that worked on the show or a cast member.
It was like a cast jacket.
Production.
So, this show was like, I don't know. I think it ended like in 96 or 97. So it was like mid 90s. It was like a 4 or 5 year period where the show was on. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. What's crazy? So the tag says extra large, but then it has handwritten in a 5. So I think they probably had them, custom made, and then they like just wrote on the 5 because it's a really big jacket. It's definitely not an extra large, so it's like 5X. So it's a nice, huge size. So there's almost no comps. None of these have sold. There's 2 listed. They're like a large and an extra large, or both larges. So it doesn't even matter in that sense. But they're listed for $50 and $100. The $100 one, they don't accept returns. They only ship to the U.S. They don't have any measurements. They don't even have like a condition description filled out. So a lot of missing stuff that's going to make it hard for them to sell that. The other one that's listed for $50, I think, also only sells within the U.S. But again, they're different sizes, so it doesn't matter. So mine is going to be the only one listed at this size, and that's where those comes into play. Having the best listing, because I'm going to accept returns. I'm going to ship worldwide. There's a lot of reasons. I'm going to have measurements, actual measurements, because that's kind of important when you're buying clothes, especially jackets. If you're going to spend a couple $100. So I'm going to see if I can sell this for like $200. I think it's pretty cool. It's a pretty awesome jacket. Very, very nice. Nice big size too.
So Luke asked, what do we charge for a store review? So here's the thing. We don't charge. We don't charge for store reviews. We don't generally do them. If we were going to charge, like I've said before, there are some people that do store reviews and they charge for them, and some charge too little. I mean, if I were to charge, I'd probably charge $150 to be quite honest with you. But what we do is we do live store reviews as our Wednesday show. Occasionally, we'll do one every 4 to 6 weeks. So if you are interested in doing a live store review, send us a message down below and we'll put you on the list of people that might be interested. It would be free. But you would need to be live with us and allow people to see your store and kind of be a guinea pig. We are gentle. If you watch any of our previous ones, you will see we are gentle and we do give you a lot of information. And it takes about an hour. So,
or as Sunny says, you can pay us in lime Skittles. That's true.
Yeah, whatever. I am so sick of Skittles. Don't send any more Skittles, people.
No, if you do, I'm keeping them for myself this time, because this is what she does. She's eating Skittles. She's like, I'm so sick of Skittles. So sick of the Skittles. And I'm like, why are you eating the Skittles? I'm so sick of them. That's pretty much what you do.
That's for sure.
All right, guys, that is the end of our show. Look, we kept it to an hour and a half. That's not too shabby.
I'm impressed. This is pretty fast. This is speedy. We are up to about 260 people at the peak of the show, and we're down to about 245 now.
That's ridiculous. So that might be a new record.
It's one of our highest live amount of watchers we've had, so we do appreciate that.
We should go way more often, apparently.
I guess we were missed. Definitely give us a thumbs up on your way out, please. We would appreciate it. If you're not part of the Facebook group that we are part of, I have seen a lot of new people in our chat. The link is down below under our show. There's links to all kinds of stuff. Our stores, you feel free to go in and poke around the stores. We are very transparent about them. Also, our Facebook group down below. It is the Boss Facebook group that we co-lead with Teresa, aka T Money, who was in the chat for half a minute. She is the bossiest of bosses. It's actually her group that we help moderate. And we would love to see you in there. We help people that are brand new sellers all the way to people that have been selling for more than 20 years, like myself and like Teresa, and every level in between. It's a very positive Facebook group, and we keep it that way for a reason. So
absolutely.
That's it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We'll see you on Wednesday if you're around. And that's about it. We're going to get back to listing before we go take some friends out for some tacos.
Yeah. My friend's parents are here in town, so we are taking the rents out for some tacos.
For some tacos. But we got to get some listings done first. So we will see y'all later. Bye.
Bye, guys.
See ya.